Welcome to Still Pondering, where I share with you some of my inner thoughts that covers a range of inquiry with stories, occasional oddities, and sometimes reflections on the people, places, and things I have encountered. And yes, sometimes this will include music, movies, and all of it. My name is Shanta Honeycutt, and I hope you join the conversation. In this episode, I share my insights about the link between the short Netflix series, Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen, and our current surround of human intimacy and relationships. Also, to place this into a larger context that I don't quite cover in either part 1 or part 2. As humans, we've long been concerned about who we lay with and play with since the beginning of time. Seek out any well-preserved letters from a previous time period, any historical books on any topic about humans getting together. For example, Andy Courcy's The Husband Hunters, American Heiresses Who Married into the British Aristocracy, or odd stories like a wealthy man who passed as black to eventually marry a black woman he fell in love with. Thus, our anxieties about who we lay with, play with, and mate with is nothing new. I hope you enjoy what I have shared about Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen, and its commentary about where we are as humans with relationships. Beware, there are spoilers ahead. Here is part 1. Meet Nikki and Rachel, a young couple within the short-run Netflix series Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen. And upon meeting her, Nikki, recounts she declares that she's not getting married, and he works at some point to change her mind because, of course, within the series, we see a wedding day. Rachel, at one point, declares to Nikki that she does not want children. Again, here, Nikki wants to change her mind. But there is something bigger than all of this linked to the possible reason as to why Rachel does not want to get married, a family curse in which someone inevitably dies on their wedding day due to not marrying their intended soulmate. There is more to the story that I won't give away, but I should warn every listener, this does include spoilers. Fast forward to Rachel and Nikki at the family compound the very week leading up to the wedding, and Rachel's first time meeting a family full of its own secrets that add to the surround of the impending nuptials. Again, you're going to need to unwrap those details yourself while I drop another spoiler. Rachel clearly has been talked into this, loves Nikki, and wants to marry him. However, her eventual imperative to marry Nikki is compounded by an aspect of her family's curse. See, Rachel Alexandra Harkin must marry Nikki only if he is her soulmate by sundown, or she dies. If Nikki is not her soulmate, she dies. If she refuses to marry him or ditches him at the altar, the curse passes along his family line. Within the final episode of Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen, we see a reversal and a few things become clear. Rachel has decided to trust that Nikki is her soulmate. Rachel also needs Nikki to marry her in order to prevent her death. And when the pressure is on, Nikki decides against succumbing to the pressure. And most importantly, he leaves Rachel hanging at the altar with her literal life in danger as he refuses to marry her because he doesn't want to adhere to the ideals of marriage. Then, another epiphany, at least for the viewer, what one could identify as gaslighting. The gaslighting that Nikki uses to say to Rachel, "Sorry, I pushed us here," meaning towards the altar and towards marriage. And then saying, "This is what you wanted." This meaning not marrying in the first place. But we have a problem because, again, at this point, Rachel's life is very much in danger. Nikki's mother eventually soothes his fears, and Nikki apologizes and asks Rachel to try again. Rachel reclaims her power and says, I'm done. I'm not going to betray myself for you anymore." During this moment, the sun has officially set, and bad things have ensued. Bloody, literally bad things. At this point, as bad things are unzipping, Nikki is apologetic now more than ever and pleads to Rachel for them to complete the ceremony in an attempt to save his family and everything that is happening around them. And what we see becomes clear. Rachel is sacrificed, and Nikki refuses to believe anything different now that he has decided that she is his soulmate. Bloodied and now dying, Rachel leaves Nikki's family that is clustered around her. We do not ever see Nikki by her side. Nikki doesn't get up to embrace her or respond when he sees her within the last scenes, as he stays curled up in the fetal position, holding the stuffed animal Rachel had given him. And to be fair, maybe he thinks all of this is a bad dream. As something very bad is going to happen comes to an end, we see a fox, the same fox that was caught by Nikki's hunting trap in a previous episode, limping away with most of one of its legs missing, and it is limping away from the family compound. And we also see a trapped, yet possibly free, blood-splattered Rachel leaving in her new ride. What are we, the audience, to make of all of this? How do we explain the discomfort, dread, anxiety, and everything that's brought us to this moment, and what continues to sit within us well after the credits have rolled? And what is the commentary about now, about this moment that this series is making? It won't surprise you that I have some thoughts about some of these questions. And before we proceed to part 2, I want to clarify a few things. No, I've not sought out any of the explanations of this ending, which I'm sure there are many, and for the purposes of trying to offer my own perspectives and insights, I wanted as little input as possible. Also, if you are someone who likes to come to your own conclusions and wishes to try to see what you may be able to sort out, I suggest that you go to Netflix and check out Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen, and then tune in to part 2. Thank you for joining me with Still Pondering, and I want to know, what are you thinking about? What is capturing your attention and intention, inviting you to go deeper than the surface of every day?